Hello and welcome back to my YouTube video. Today will be kind of a little bit of an off-topic video, but just something I wanted to address because I realized I wanted to make this video but I never did. That is how much I spent in Japan, how I budgeted for myself, and if anything below or above the threshold is viable. So first off, let's just say it's been about a year since I've been in Japan. Overall, fantastic experience. Definitely would love to go again. Great food, great attractions, great weather, great views, a lot of great things. That is to say, keep in mind, I planned my trip, very last minute, aka I left, I think, was it 2 or 3 days before I bought the tickets 2 or 3 days before I actually planned to leave. So that's a huge thing. So my biggest tip, let's start from the very beginning, is whether you're buying plane tickets or like if you're buying a package deal, that's going to be a different story. But if you're buying plane tickets, buy it way in advance, whether that be like 6 months from when you plan to leave, or you can buy it very last minute if you're like me and are not really in a rush or dying to go. The reason for this is because you'll get price spikes, as you know, whether it be in the seasons that people want to travel or whether it be because people are just suddenly looking at the tickets. That is a huge thing to keep in mind, and I think it helped cut the budget, because I think if you go during the hot season or are trying to book when it's hot right now, like people are looking it up and people are trying to travel, you can pay up to like 2,500 each way. And I was not gonna pay that much. I think you can obviously pay more if you pay business, or even like you get really bad spikes where it's 3,000. And this is all in Canadian. Let me just preface you that. But thanks to buying last minute and not worrying if I'm gonna go or not, I was able to get it under 1,000 each way, or roughly 1,000, which is pretty good in my opinion, especially when you're going for like an international flight. If you're Canadian, you know it's very expensive to buy a package deal or just in general flights to other areas in Canada. And because of that, I was kind of shocked that the price for Japan was so low, or that it was around the same price at least. And you know, the next thing after that is what you're gonna bring. One of the things is I brought a carry-on. I didn't have any checked luggage. However, if you fly with WestJet, which I did, which is very, economic, you can actually get free checked luggage both ways. However, I didn't know that, so, and I honestly don't regret it, because I brought everything in my backpack. This included my clothes, any like sanitary goods I needed for the month, and then a hairbrush, whatever it is, like literally everything in that one bag. I think I put my carry-on in that bag and then took it off during the flight. But the reason for that is because I was too scared that something was not going to work and then they'd have to check my luggage. Anyway, so because I brought everything I needed, I brought about a week's worth of clothes. You can bring a little less if you know you're going to have a laundry machine and whatnot. Most hotels and Airbnbs have access to that to some degree, so that's a great thing. But yeah, I think I packed that much very tightly into like the maximum liter bags. That obviously depends. Given the weather, I packed dresses, skirts, breezy pants, thin shirts, and thin t-shirts when applicable. And overall, yeah, it did fit. And it was a little heavy at first, and there was no room for souvenirs, but I'll get to that at the end. Another thing is in-flight accommodations. If you fly with WestJet or some other airlines, you can actually get free food and drink on the flights. Free snacks as well. Of course, it's not going to be luxury. Let's just keep that in mind, because if you're flying on a budget, you can't expect that. But yeah, it's enough to feed you and you should feel full, especially when you're sleeping on the flight. You're not going to notice if you're hungry or not. Another thing is you can buy this prior to or buy this the day of arrival, but you want to buy an eSIM. Whether that's like, if you have an iPhone, eSIM, you can just hook it up to your phone here. And I have the discount code for Ubigi, but it's a little long and I don't know if it expires. So if you guys want a referral discount, I think to get 10% off, then just leave a comment and I'll just drop my links. But yeah, I used Ubigi, Ubigi, I think it is. And overall, such a great network. I bought way too much, so I think I bought the 50 pack because I just wanted to be safe in case I need to contact people for emergencies. And yeah, that lasted me, I traveled for 25 days and that lasted me the full 25 days, and I probably still had extra. But yeah, that's linked up to my phone. You can buy a regular SIM. You can buy that at Yodobashi camera, or you can buy that at the airport. You can buy that prior to and ship it to your home. But personally, I prefer Ubigi because I don't have to deal with that. And some places charge extra for a physical SIM and to get that delivered to you, so I just didn't bother. Anyways, on arrival, they have Japanese kiosks where you're going to enter your information, and I don't think like it's surprising, but I don't think anybody there actually speaks any foreign languages, at least very well, because I had to use Google Translate to get through it, and maybe that has changed, but I was just surprised when that happened. But yeah, overall, so my flight itself was probably 2,000 roughly, and that's including accommodations including the accommodations I have on flight. As per hotels, I'm not gonna lie, I booked very last minute. I used booking.com and I used the Airbnb app. In Japan, I think Airbnb is pretty safe. I don't know about Canada, but they have to go through the government or go through their like local government to approve their home and to get a code that will verify them. Note that this doesn't necessarily include standards for a place, because I had stayed a place and it was a little bit smelly. But yeah, overall, I think booking last minute, you're gonna find a lot of stuff. You don't have to book high-end hotels unless you want to, but for the most part, I think there's always something available for a pretty decent price. I think on average, I paid probably 30 to 50 a night, which is really good. You can honestly go lower if you're like going for the cheapest stuff, but as a girl that's flying and a girl that's traveling alone, I wanted to make sure that it was safe. I didn't really want to book a place that could be sketchy or book a place that would have other people possibly like lingering through my stuff. But yeah, the living experiences I stayed at was a shared house kind of situation where it was actually a hotel, but it was just a bunch of shared rooms that for the most part people are private, people don't really care, and people don't talk to you. I stayed at another place that was like a local inn, in a sense that you have rooms that you can lock off, you have private areas. However, it's shared because there's like a shared cooking kitchen area and there's like shared like sink situation. Honestly, overall, I think that's fine. Most people like their privacy there, so they're not gonna bug you. Even the tourists, it seems like. Sometimes you'll run across a tourist that needs help and they'll just try to reach out to you. But yeah, just 1 second. As per food, I probably spent, I would say $10 to $25 per each time I ate. I don't know if that's quite low for some people, but I just didn't feel that hungry, and I don't know, I don't need to eat that much usually. Sometimes I eat once a day, but yeah. Overall, the food you get is a pretty good deal. Like I think I could get a set of food like the one I showed you in Nara, the tempura, the soba, I think it was mackerel. Anyways, that was under $25, which is great. But the most part is that you're also waiting in line. Sometimes when you wait in line for so long, it's like 2 hours have passed and now you're missing your lunch or your breakfast or whatever that you had planned. But yeah, I didn't really limit myself to what I could eat. Sometimes I would limit myself, like if I was scared to go to a restaurant by myself and it looked like a pretty busy restaurant, I would just eat at the convenience store. I know that's silly. I honestly couldn't even estimate how much my budget for food was, but yeah, for the most part. And I don't really eat snacks. I bought those Lay's chips that I just tried because I was like, what flavor is this? But yeah, I think I would say I spent probably less than 500. I know that sounds crazy, but like there was days that I was walking around that I didn't pack a snack. I just had drinks and it was fine. Also, that's a huge thing to know. My food and drink budget is low because I don't drink. So I was just ordering yummy food that I thought I could have. I don't know. It was like overall, I think each night if I had spent something at the convenience store, I probably spent $10 most. Obviously, if you're hungry and you want more, your budget's going to change a little bit based off of that. But I don't think you need to spend much. And if you run into people you know or run into this and that, you guys can get a really good deal, like those like two person meals or family meals for a better price. And obviously there's another option. If you go to a convenience store and buy goods there, you're gonna be able to save money. I think like I was able to actually stock up on groceries for under $20 for the whole stay that I was at Yokohama. Yeah. What else did I spend on? Obviously, I consider a little bit two different things, because some things are tax free and some aren't. I think it was some, like, it varies, but I think it's like if you spend over some places like $50 or 50, what is it? 5,000 yen, which is about $50 Canadian. If you spend on over that, then you can get tax free. Some places it's 99 Canadian, I would just say. And when I went tax free, it was mostly for souvenir shopping. I didn't really have a limit for that. But the other thing I did buy was, like, if I wanted to buy stuff for myself, like whether it be clothing, whether it be like games that are cheaper over there, a lot of things. I honestly probably stayed under 500 for that as well, or maybe like 600. But overall, I think because I don't shop that much, maybe that's why some people love buying luxury goods, because then you get that tax-free discount. I know Gentle Monster is now in Japan as well, which you guys can visit if you like. But yeah, overall, if you're a light traveler, I think I would say, I know the numbers don't make sense because I honestly don't remember, but I would say that I spent about 4,000 to 5,000 Canadian, and that was last year. The prices may have changed, but I heard the exchange rate isn't much different. Probably the flight would be your biggest charge and your hotels. But yeah, overall, I would say it's still a great travel destination. It's relatively cheap for Canadians if you save your money. And I think it's flexible. If you are tight with your money, then you could probably go for about 5,000, but 4,000 or 3,000. But note that you'd have to be very last minute, like I was, where I got better deals. If you're not comfortable with that, you're probably going to be paying more. And of course, I had run into a lot of people in Japan who had luxury budgets and who are spending like, oh, my budget is 10,000 to go to Japan. I think that's fine, but sometimes it's not reasonable for people, because 10,000 is a lot of money you have to save up. But yeah, this is my very rough overview, because I know there's so many videos on the internet and I don't feel like it's necessary for me to cover all of it, just considering that you guys can watch something else. But if you have any specific questions of my trip based off my videos, or just what I've said today, feel free to leave a comment. I'm so happy to help everybody, and if you want my referral code, remember to comment in the video, and then I'll just copy paste what it is now. But yeah, see you guys in the next video. Peace.